What is up, you guys, and welcome to the Upper 90 YouTube soccer channel where we're talking about the final, England versus Italy. So stick around as we dive deeper into this game. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Mike, huge Chelsea fan, which leads me to be an England fan, and I'm a little bit upset about how this game went. Heartbreaking. So let's talk about what exactly went wrong for England. Now, the start of the game started off so well, you couldn't think of a better start. England scoring in the first 2 minutes of the game. Trippier playing a beautiful ball across the box where Shaw was there to put it in. And that was a start that England really needed to get this game going, because you knew that Italy was going to be a huge juggernaut in this tournament and really be attacking throughout this game. The fact that England had that lead right off the bat really put them in the driver's seat and really put Italy on the back seat, not too sure what they could and could not do. But you have to give credit where credit is due. Italy played a great game today. Roberto Mancini knew exactly what he needed his players to do, orchestrate everything, and they got the results that they needed. Now, yes, they were a little bit lucky overall because they did score that goal that was really close. I'm not too sure maybe if England should have defended that corner a little bit better. Again, it went off the post, came back, and Italy were able to score. But it is what it is. England, though, after that, really didn't have the opportunities that they wanted. Now, backing up a little bit, we need to talk, though, about how great Italy were in this game. Now, if you just look at possession alone, it shows you how much Italy were dictating this game. Possession was roughly about, I think, 80-20, maybe 75-25 throughout the entire game. Obviously, when we went to extra time, it did shift a little bit, but Italy were in control of the game for the most part. And it was one of those things where a death by 1,000 passes, where Italy kept playing little balls back and forth, and I think they were slowly breaking down England. And you even saw England dropping back more and more and more as the game progressed. And that's where the problem was with England, at least in my opinion, because as they were sitting back more and more and dropping back, that allowed and invited Italy to keep coming into their half and get closer and closer to where they finally had their opportunity. Now, Italy by themselves had many opportunities in this game that they could have easily scored 1 or 2 more goals in this game. The fact that they didn't really shows how good England were defensively, but they weren't at the best as they should have been. Now, Gareth Southgate came out more defensively, which we weren't really too surprised. Had 3 in the back with 2 wings, so we had Trippier and Walker and Shaw, which I know those 3 guys were kind of playing all over the place on the outside. Then with Maguire and Stones sitting back a little bit more. And so you were kind of expecting Italy really to then be the attacking team and England really to be the more defensive team, which we saw throughout this game. We had Rice, we had Phillips in the midfield, and then we also had up top, we had Sterling, Kane, and Mount. Now, like I said, it's hard to say what England could have done better in this game, because overall, I think minus that goal, Italy were in control of everything that they were doing. They were playing out in the back. Really, there weren't too many shots from England. They were 1 for 1 for a while. They've had the one shot on target that happened to go in, whereas Italy were shooting over and over, putting balls into the box, having corner kicks and everything. And eventually, you just knew it was going to break for Italy, and eventually did in about the 67th minute. And from there on, you really thought it was Italy's game to be have, and that England were slowly slipping away. And once we went to extra time, obviously anything can happen at that point. And then we went to PKs, and you were thinking just maybe that England were going to pull this off. But no, Italy just stepped up to their PKs. Yes, Jorginho missed his, and I thought maybe that was going to be the turning point. But then England go and miss 3 PKs in a row. Now, I'm not giving any disrespect to Rashford, to Saka, and to Sancho, because I think overall they were good PKs, minus Rashford. Yes, it was hitting the post, so it never had a chance of going in. But overall, I can't really give discredit for those players, because I thought Donnarumma did phenomenal as a goalkeeper in this PK, having technically 3 saves, but saving 2 by himself, 1 missing the target. And you can't fault Italy for that, because if your team misses 3, you shouldn't win in PKs, and therefore Italy, like I said, won the game. So my huge takeaways from this game are these 3 things. Now, first off was the midfield for Italy. Now, I have to again, be a little biased here, but I think Jorginho was the best player in this tournament and the best player for Italy. I'm not sure if he'll get that recognition, but he definitely orchestrated so many plays throughout this entire tournament. He really reminded me of Pirlo back in the day when he used to play for Italy. The way he could sit back, drop back, just ping balls all over the place, find open players, and just really keep the rhythm going for Italy. And therefore, he was a huge influential player in this game. And I thought for sure in the beginning of the game when he got hurt, I thought that was going to change everything. He came back on and really just kept grinding it out and playing the way he usually plays and dictated this game. And that was a big part of this game, that England just couldn't stop him. If they were going to be able to stop anyone, that should have been their key player, and they didn't do that. The second point that I really want to talk about is Italy's defense. Their defense, again, just looked so great. Their only weak link, I think, was Emerson, because he was coming on Spinazzola, who ended up rupturing his Achilles. And therefore, I think, like I said, that was their weak point. But even then, he still has the pace to recover, go in and attack, and do everything that Spinazzola was doing, just not as good. But everyone else on the Italy in their back line just played so great that they weren't letting any opportunities happen. Sterling was trying to dribble through, wasn't happening. Kane couldn't break through. And when all the other players came on, Saka, he wasn't able to break through. Jack Grealish, they stopped him as well. And therefore, they played out of their minds and played one of their best matches they played in a very long time. And then the third key takeaway is got to be the manager for Italy, Roberto Mancini. I'm blown away with how well you've turned this team around, due to the fact that they weren't in the World Cup back in 2018, which again is real shocking for any Italy side. And then to come back, go so many games undefeated. They haven't lost in over 3 years, which shows you how great this team is. And to go on and carry out how they carried out in this tournament, winning game after game, grinding games out like they did against Spain, grinding this game against England, going to extra time, going to PK shootouts back to back, and winning this game. You have to give credit where credit is due, and that is to the manager for making the right decisions, even having injuries and playing players that shouldn't maybe be starting, and playing them and playing different players, and getting the right substitutions in when he needed to, and getting the results. And therefore, I think he is a huge key factor for Italy winning the Euros. And again, it still blows my mind that Italy won, because I thought for sure England were going to win this. I had such high hopes. Slightly disappointed, but at the same time, I'm still happy for some of the players for Italy, due to the fact that Jorginho plays for Chelsea, Emerson plays for Chelsea, and there may be a few other players that can come to Chelsea during this summer window. So again, I enjoyed this whole final. I enjoyed this whole tournament. Overall, I wish we could play it again to see England win it this time, but that's not how it goes. The fact that Italy won, still happy for those players, happy for the manager, happy for this tournament, that we are finally able to have this tournament. So that is all I have for you today. I know this is what you were expecting. I know a lot of people were thinking England was going to win. Didn't happen, but it is what it is, and that's just how the game goes. You play the game to see the results. You don't just go off the pieces of paper, because as we know, England had the better depth, but it just wasn't a factor in today's game. So that is all I have for you today. If you haven't, make sure to like and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. That means a lot. Helps grow this YouTube channel, helps with the YouTube algorithm, and again, gets this video out to more people that enjoy this sport. So that is all, and I will see you next time.